Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tanya Smith, and it's Thursday. This is our weekly live stream with Get Noticed with Video. So, what do we do on these lives? We love to share simple tips, practical strategies, and tools to help you to do more on-camera video, to use that type of content, right? To promote yourself, to build your brand, to establish authority, to do all the things, but we want to do it in a more simplified way. So what I like to say is we help you to simplify streaming so that you can serve more people and sell more of your services. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time here, type in #newbie. If this is more than your first time, you've been following us for a little while, then type in #OG. My folks inside my Video VIPs community will be really familiar with this. So I know you're either typing in #OG or a #VIP. I'm checking out your comments, so I'll definitely be saying hello back. Miss Irene, wonderful to see you, ma'am. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Wonderful that you're here to learn. So if I can't see your face or your name, it's only because you're probably inside of my community, inside of my Video VIPs group. All you need to do is follow the link that I've shared inside the group so that you can give Restream. That's what we're using this month. Use Restream or tell Restream that you're giving them permission to showcase your profile so I can acknowledge you personally. All right, I see several OGs. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Mr. Luke, it is wonderful to see you here. Thank you so much for watching. All right, let me ask you this, because this is what we're going to talk about this evening. And we're not doing a bunch of slides and charts and all that kind of stuff, but I just want to talk to you. I'm going to give you a really transparent moment that happened for me recently, and then I'm going to share some tips with you. But here's the question we're answering. Actually, I want to ask you a question. What if it wasn't hard to do video? What if it really was simpler than it may seem? Would you do more? Would you do it more? And this is something that we always have to kind of think about, whether it's video or anything else. What if it were easy? What could you do? What would you be unlimited about if you found that this was easy to do? So I want to talk about that. And again, I'm going to share this really, really simple way that you can get ideas for low to no edit videos. That's what we're going to focus on today. So I know, Irene, you've had some questions in regards to simple and short videos. So we're going to touch on some of that today. And I've also touched on it recently in a few posts back. That's a constant thing that we talk about, is creating short videos as well as the long ones, because the most important thing for you, if you're going to create videos, not as a videographer, not as a professional video marketer, but as someone who is in a service business, because many of you are coaches, consultants, course creators. That's really who I work with. And your focus is not on becoming a professional videographer, but it is that you want to be able to simply leverage video content to boost your brand and to get more business, right? So if that's the case, you want to have a diversified library of short and longer video content. But let's get to the point. I want to talk about these ideas for low to no edit videos. I want to simplify and break this thing down for you, because I found myself falling into a trap recently. And yes, let me say hello to Miss Pamela. Good to see you, lady. I'm broadcasting, by the way, inside of YouTube, on Twitter, as well as in various parts of Facebook. So if you're in any of those spaces, just say hello. Let me know where you're from. And again, #newbie if you're new and this is your first time, #OG if you have been watching for a while. And if you're catching me on the replay, just do #replay, because I do come back and scan through the comments so I can make sure to acknowledge you personally. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the why. Why do we care about making low to no edit videos? I'm going to give you a transparent story, like I said. So again, going back to, and I want you to be thinking about this, the question of what if it were easy? If it were easy to do videos, would you do more of it? So I found myself not very long ago, and this is why it's relevant, by the way, for you. Even as seasoned as I am now in video, I've been doing this for a minute. And even as seasoned as I am, I have found myself falling into the trap of making things way too complicated. So many of you who have been watching for some time, you know that I have the gadgets. I've got all the setup. Everything looks like it's smooth and professionally done, right? I'm at a certain point where I feel confident about the presence that I put on with video content. But what I found myself doing is looking at other people's videos and looking at other people's methods and approaches and starting to think, oh man, I might be missing out. Maybe I'm not doing all the things, right? So I went out and I purchased this thing. I'm going to show you. I have it ready so I can show you what this looks like. It's called an ATM or ATEM mini switcher. So I'm going to pull it up so you can see what it looks like. So it's this handy little gadget, right? And it's about $300. And I recently purchased this, probably about a month and a half ago. I purchased this switcher is what it's called. So let me give you a little background as to why I purchased this ATEM mini HDMI switcher. Okay, already it's got a super long name, Black Magic Design ATM. It's got a long name, right? Yes, Irene, I bet you have been there, girl. Okay, so here's what we do. This is what I did. I'll speak for myself. And if you see yourself in this, I want you to type in, yes, I've been there, or give me a hand sign. So I was like, oh, I need to have that. It started as an idea because I saw somebody else that had it and I thought, okay, yeah, they've got this. And I started coming up with reasons why I needed it. Like, I really need that because then I can do multiple cameras. So when I do my live stream, it just doesn't have to be one camera. I can have cameras in other places, like, from different angles, right? So I was getting all excited and I was like, I know, Pamela, right? I was getting all excited and I was like, yeah, I need that. I got to have that. And so then it turns out there's like 3 different versions of this thing. So you can get the ATEM Mini Pro and you can get this other version, and they just get higher and more expensive. So I thought I was doing good. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy the least expensive one because I don't need the other 2, but I need one of these because I want to do multiple cameras and I want to do all this stuff. So I ordered it. And I ended up getting it. And again, for those of you who are watching and you're like, what is she talking about? If you just came in, this is what I bought. I bought this switcher. And ultimately, the goal for me, what I was trying to do is to use multiple cameras. And I was thinking of some other things that I wanted to do with Clubhouse and my live streams and all this other stuff, right? Okay. But what I didn't realize or I didn't think about is my situation wasn't broken. Like what I have right now, it works. Like it works. So I get the box in the mail. And when I get it, I realize, man, all that came in the box is the switcher. So there's no cords. There's no, I can't hook this up to anything. So then I realized I had to take apart my current setup. I had to take apart what's called a cam link. It's this thing that goes into my webcam that I use, which happens to be a Sony camera that I'm looking at you right now with. Had to remove all of that. Had to go and order more. So got back on Amazon and ordered like 3 or 4 more different cables. Then I realized, wait a minute, this doesn't hook up to my other camera, my C922 camera. It's not hooking up to that because I'm thinking this is going to give me multicam, right? So I can use my other I have a Canon DSLR and I thought I can use that with my iPhone and I can use it with my C922. So I'm thinking I can connect all these things with this ATEM Mini. Next thing I know, it's not just a $300 plus tax purchase. It has become a bear. It's getting super expensive because I keep having to buy connectors and adapters and all these things and reset up everything that I have on my desk. And let me tell y'all, I had this thing the last 2 times I've done live streams with you. because we go live every Thursday. Make sure you subscribe and follow if you're not doing that. So the last 2 times I've live streamed, I've had this thing and I had it set up fully ready to do multicam. And guess what? You didn't see me do multicam at all because I would have had to remember in the middle of talking to go over and click the switcher and go back and forth. Not only that, it also created a problem with my microphone. So if you go back and listen to a couple of the past shows, you'll see that my microphone was not as clear as you may hear it right now. So it created this whole complex system. That was never the intention. My intention starting out was what? Ooh, I see something that I need. This is going to make life easier. I'm going to look more professional. I'm going to have more, cameras, and I'm going to look like really good, like this other person that I was watching. You get what I'm getting at? If you do, if this is making sense to you and this is giving you some light bulb moments, I want you to put a light bulb emoji in the comments. Because here's what happens. And what I'm sharing with you is the same old story that many of you have faced. We tend to overcomplicate things instead of really simplifying, even though our intention may be good. Our intention is to make things easy. Our intention is to make things go smoothly. But what ends up happening a lot of times is we talk ourselves into a hot mess of chaos. So guess what I ended up doing after I went through all of that and realized I don't want to deal with all this. If my goal is to teach people how to simplify, then I need to live and practice what I preach. So I realized, okay, now is a good time for me to box this thing back up along with all the adapters and chargers and everything else that I just purchased, unnecessarily, mind you. Box it up and send that sucker back to Amazon. And that's what I did. Because you have to go back. And Jeanette, thank you for that light bulb. Because that's clarity for me. Yes. It will happen. It will happen. We try to simplify things, but we end up going in the opposite direction. So that's why, and I gave you a long roundabout way as to why it's important to watch for this, but this is why I decided to talk about ideas for low to no edit videos, because when you focus on simplifying and when you understand the purpose behind your content and what you're doing, you really can keep it simple and it still can be effective. That's the truth right there. So I had to share my little story with you so that you would see that it's not just you. We all go through that, right? We have to step back and look at, yes, as is being said here by Jeanette, work smarter, not harder. Impulse buying is the devil. It is. But it's not just about buying. It's also about the way we do things. It's about our systems and our process. So that's what I want to talk a little bit about with you today. I'm going to give you 3 ideas for low to no edit videos. So idea number 1, to help you keep things simple. Let's pull it up. Keep your text simple. Keep it simple. So I just shared with you a reason why. The more you add on to your setup, the more you will have to add. So I bought that simple switcher. I thought it was simple. I thought it was going to be super easy to use. I thought it was going to give me something that I felt like I needed. I really didn't need that. I didn't need multiple cameras. I wasn't even remembering to use the multicam. I still was just talking to you through this one camera right now. I didn't have to have that in order for this to be a good experience for you. I just thought that I did. I just kind of got envious and I had that fear of missing out thing, right? But really keep your tech simple. So I would encourage you to think about your setup. What do you have right now that you can use? What can you leverage in this moment? If you don't have a fancy Sony A6400 camera, if you don't have a fancy whatever, Canon, DSLR, if you have a Logitech webcam, or if you have a smartphone, start with where you are. Because the more you invest, the more you invest. When I bought my first DSLR webcam, I did not realize all the different connectors and the HDMI things that I needed to connect and how much it was going to strain my system. And that meant I need to upgrade my internet, and all these things come with it. So wait until you're ready. Get yourself prepared at the level where you are. Use your smartphone until you get super confident and you know, okay, I'm good right now. Now I'm ready to move on to the next level. Right? Some of you have approached me and asked about private coaching. I know for a fact when you are ready versus when you're not quite ready for the next level. So we start where we are. And I'm transparent with people when they approach me now and they apply to do a discovery call. I'm very transparent in seeing where they are and being honest and saying, you're not ready yet for the next level. Let's work on some of these other things with the lower programs first, right? So the same thing when it comes to your technology. Keep it simple. That's tip number one, or idea number one. I'm going to give you some concrete ideas you can use in a second here. The second thing is choose an editor you can learn, because we're talking about low to no cost videos, right? So when you're creating low to no cost or no edit videos, what you can do if you're going to do low editing, what I mean by that is you're not learning some really complex system that's going to help you to do all this fancy editing and, adding music and graphics and glitter is coming down the screen. We're not saying all that. What I'm saying is low to no edit videos. And again, I'm going to give you some ideas about where these might apply in a few minutes. The thing is, there are editors on your phone. iMovie is an editor. Many of you have purchased Wave Video because we got that deal, remember, a few months back. And some of you came to my Wave webinar where we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. And now you're realizing the capability of Wave. So if you have already invested in an editor, like my note says, stick with it for a while. Stop jumping from one thing to the next. If you have Wave, you can do a whole lot with Wave Video Editor. And again, some of you purchased it one time and will never have to pay the subscription fee again, which is awesome. But you get to use all the full features of this editor, right? Whatever editor it is you're using, make it something that is, especially when you're starting out, make it something that is easy and not complicated for you to use. Be clear on exactly what it is you think you really need. If you have an iPhone, you probably can use Apple Clips. And Apple Clips will actually add captions for you. It'll add captions right at the bottom of your video. So why are you going out and investing $1,000 into an editing program that you now have to spend another $1,000 to go take a class on to learn how to use the thing? Just saying. Keep it simple. So the first tip was keep your text simple. The second tip is to choose an editor that you can learn and stick with it for a while. Now, if you're not going to do these things, you certainly can invest in having someone else create and design videos for you. But that brings me to number 3. And the third tip is define the purpose of your video. Why are you creating the video? Because if it's not something that you're going to be using to promote, even if you are using it to promote, you don't necessarily have to have this really fancy video to get your point across, right? Some of the ways in which I use it, and here's the idea, so get ready with your pen and paper. Some of the ways that you can use low to no edit video. You can introduce yourself to someone that you just met. Now, I've challenged myself to do more because I've been talking about this with you, but I wasn't effectively using it the way that I should. So when someone reaches out to me, for instance, on LinkedIn, if someone reaches out to me on Facebook, if someone reaches out to me on any other app, if my phone is available and I'm ready to do this, because it should only take less than a minute, I'm going to jump on that phone and just do a quick less than a minute video and say, thank you so much for reaching out. I appreciate that you recommended me in the LinkedIn, thing, right? I just did this a few minutes ago. That's why that's top of mind. Or I'm going to reach out and say, thanks so much for reaching out to connect with me. I appreciate it. If you have any questions about what I do, or if there's a way I can help support you and get you connected to people in your field, let me know. You can do that on a simple video. You don't have to have 100 apps. You don't have to go out and do a subscription app. You've got a smartphone that you can simply use that video to respond to the person. Why would you do that with these low to no edit videos? You might do that because the goal is to create a deeper level of personal connection. It's not just about promoting and advertising and doing a show and all those other things. Video truly has capabilities of connecting you and engaging people into your space in so many other ways. Sure, courses and classes, yeah, those are all the things, the common things that people use video for. But what if you used it for your customer service? Can you imagine the person on the other end who's like, oh, wow, well, she actually reached out and responded to me over video to answer my question, right? So there are definitely ways in which you can leverage video in a simple form by simply pulling out your phone. So again, those ideas for introductions, for customer service, for stories, and for reels. What I'm noticing is that when I do more production, and I tested this out, I should have taken a screenshot for you. I think I have a screenshot somewhere, but I was testing this out. So I was doing some of my produced vertical videos, and then I was using just my face on camera, talking for a couple of seconds, and try to see like which one got more traction in stories and in reels. And guess what? The ones that didn't have all the fancy editing and the background and the music and stuff, those were getting more attention because it's just me talking, just me being authentically me on those reels and stories. So again, there are multiple ways in which you can use low to no edit videos. I just want you to start thinking more strategically about how you can use video content besides the fancy courses and the promotions and the ads and all these other things. You can do so much more. You can do so much more. I'm scanning. Yes, Miss Christy, it's wonderful to see you, lady. We found out we're both in Texas. I do have an affiliate link. Someone's asking about Wave. So that's Natalie. Natalie, I'll make sure I get that to you in the group. I will do that. Yes, Apple Clips. Okay, so get this. If you have an iPhone, just go on your phone and look up clips. Just type in clips. And literally this thing is going to pull up. And when you record, what you do after you finish recording is you click on effects, and you will see a little pop-up that shows you where the captions can appear. They can appear on top of your head, at the bottom of your head. You can put it in different spaces in the video. Super quick and easy to do. Like I said, I've been doing more of this because I'm challenging myself to use video in more creative ways so that I can share with you when it works, right? And encourage you to do more of this. Yes, Irene, I'll make sure that I put that link inside the group too. I will definitely do that for both of you. I believe that it is tanya.click/wave video, but I'll find it and make sure that goes into the community. For those of you who are not part of our Video VIPs community, let me make sure I pop this up here. You're more than welcome to join. It is a free group. It's a community where all of us are interested in learning more about video content strategy. So if that's not your thing, it's not the place for you. But if it is your thing and you're interested, all you've got to do is go to the group, ask to join, request to join, and within 48 hours, we'll review your application because everybody does not get in. We want to know that this is really a good fit for you because I'm very careful about nurturing a group in a community that is caring about each other, that's supportive, and we all are there for the same purpose. So I do want to say a quick congratulations to those of you who participated in our very first We Share Wednesday. One of the things that I want to do in that group, in the community that we're building, is to create a safe space for you to practice video. So on Wednesdays, we're experimenting with this, but on Wednesdays, you can share a 2-minute video within the post that's designated inside the group. And it can be a promo, it could be an ad, it could just be you practicing, it could be whatever you want it to be, as long as it's under 2 minutes. And there's no expectation that there's like this tit for tat where people are obligated to watch or obligated to provide feedback or obligated to buy something, but it is a space for you to practice. So for those of you in the community, know that that is there and available for you on Wednesdays. We're going to try this out in the month, throughout the month of April, at least. All righty, folks. If you have questions, I'm looking for those questions in here to see what's going on. All right. I see this note, fancy schmancy. Yes. Don't try to get fancy. Look, again, going back to my story about buying that mini HDMI live switcher. I should have known just by the fact that the name was so doggone long. I'm like, why? I second guessed myself after the fact, hindsight 2020. But at the time, I convinced myself, I need this. I need to go spend that $300. Then it turned into, wait, there's another $100 for these cords and adapters. Wait, there's another $150 because it's not connecting to my iPhone. I need to find this type of connector. So think about how you can simplify. If you're truly trying to simplify what you're using to do your video, you literally can start with your phone. And you can elevate up from there as you go, but do it in small bites and be intentional and on purpose. This is one of the things that I work with my clients on doing, is giving them strategic advice based on their purpose and what they're wanting to do with what they really need. But my motto is start with where you are. Start where you are. All right. All right. I see a couple of you just hit live. Christy, I see your note. Yes, we have to just we have to be more intentional and more strategic. Look, unless you have an endless budget, which most of us do not, we have to be more on purpose when we're putting together content and strategy and making sure that we're using it to elevate our businesses, not to drain our businesses dry or drain us dry. So that was the purpose of tonight's episode. I wanted to share with you 3 ideas for low to no edit videos. Now, I know that there was a question from Irene about short videos, which you kind of can think about that as well in terms of the same approach that I'm talking about with low to no edit videos. You want to be clear and succinct. You don't want to go overboard with putting a whole bunch of equipment and fancy stuff together when you literally are trying to create a 1-minute video. Again, going back to what I shared, when I did my test, the videos that had less production for those 30-second clips and 1-minute clips got more traction than the ones that had a whole bunch of production and fancy backgrounds and all that other stuff. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean I won't use the fancy backgrounds, because I do love things to look pretty. I do love that. But you want to be thinking about, okay, if I'm going to do a 1-minute and I'm scripting it out, scripting is no different for a 1-minute or 30-second clip than it is for a 30-minute clip. You're still going to have an intro, you're going to have the body of your content, and you're going to have an exit or an outro. So how does that break down for your particular structure and for what you're talking about? But there's more we can talk about in some of the other videos. And certainly moving forward, we'll have more programs and other things to connect with you on. I really appreciate your time, everybody. We're right at the top of our half hour. We are here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 6 p.m. my time in the Dallas area. Every Thursday like clockwork. If I ever miss it, just know it's because there's something important that took place. But usually we're on here delivering practical strategies and tips to help you to leverage more on-camera content, to boost your brand, to build your credibility and authority, and really to help you to serve more people and sell more services. That's our focus. You're so welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And yes, Irene, we won't do it in this session because we're right at the top of our half hour. I can only do so much in these, but I appreciate your you wanting information. Definitely go and look through my YouTube videos as well. As I mentioned earlier, I have a playlist that's all about stories, creating stories. And this was something that I created probably a couple years ago, but it's still effective. All of the tips that I gave then still apply now for short vertical stories and videos. All right, everybody. Y'all have an amazing rest of the evening. And thank you again for spending time with me tonight. Take good care of yourself. And remember to keep doing video. Just build the habit of doing more video and going on camera. Oh, I'll leave you with this. If you do have a question about how to come up with ideas on videos, you want to know which ones are the best ones to meet your clients and your leads at whatever point of the journey they're on, just type in the word journey in the comments and I will send you a free gift. All right, folks. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.